Welcome everybody to Pinfalls and Passports. For those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you who love the sport of professional wrestling, and for members of our WWE Travel Community Discord server to keep us entertained and engaged during the year leading up to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. But we are here today not to talk about WWE. We are here for an AEW special, and I'm joined by my AEW in-house expert, Mirah. How you doing?
Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick off the show today looking back at a Dynamite plus Collision, but really it was a 3-hour Dynamite special. Obviously, they're not doing Collision or they're not showing it on
Mhm.
Saturday night because we've got WrestleDream coming up,
Yes.
and we will go through our predictions and ahead of that on Saturday night. For those of you listening, if you're not a member of our WWE Travel community, come join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find the Discord invite link here in the podcast bio. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Pinfalls and Passports. And we are on TikTok at Pinfalls_passports. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to follow and subscribe to the podcast to keep up to date with all things involved with the WWE Travel community, Discord server, and wrestling in general. My name's Daddy Dom. This is Pinfalls and Passports. Mirah, what a week we've had in AEW. A 3-hour special, a Dynamite plus Collision. 2 hours, perhaps a little bit more interesting than the final hour, if we're being completely honest. But it was the go-home show for WrestleDream, which is taking place, obviously, this Saturday night. Big show for AEW. I think we're all very excited for that. But what do we think of AEW's go-home show?
It left me with a lot of questions for this weekend. I'm excited to see some of the matches. I know we're going to get into it. There's three that pops out to me that I'm very excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked card. Some of the matches dating back with lots of sort of history, some good sort of stories
Mhm.
going on there. Some a little bit flung together, but should be good matches, sort of all the same. We started off the show on Dynamite with Renee Paquette doing a sit down with Tony Storm and Chris Statlander. This was great fun. First thing they start doing is throwing their clothes off. Tony said she needs her belt back, even if it means getting murdered by Statlander. They start then undressing. Renee Paquette takes her jacket off, throws it on the floor, and then they just decide to go to the ring and get it started, right?
I was like, oh, it seems like they have a lot of, they're very passionate about each other. It made me feel things. I was like, okay, so this is where we're taking it. I feel like this is going to be a really good match. This is the first time they're going 1-on-1 ultimately. So we're set for an amazing match. I hope this is a good showing for Chris Statlander as the new champion. This is her first singles match. She's going against Tony Storm, someone who's been trailblazing in AEW since she's arrived. So I'm very excited for it. This match is my number one match. I'm very excited for.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Super hyped for this match. It was a little bit of a quick build, obviously, because of
Mhm.
the way that Chris came back and sort of got that belt. But I've enjoyed sort of what they've done. I liked it when they got in the ring, started really going off each other. Tony gets down on her knees and offers Chris a shot with the belt to the head. Chris refuses. Chris then gets on her knees, gives the belt to Tony, offers her to whack her out in the face. Tony gives her back the belt and kisses her on the forehead. This should be a great match. Tony puts on absolute bangers, and I'm guessing this is going to be, a real statement match, hopefully for Chris Statlander as well.
Right. And this
Uh,
helps elevate Chris too, like a lot, because again, Tony is Tony Storm. She doesn't
yeah,
need the belt. We all knew
she
that.
no, she doesn't need the belt, but not many people beat her. So, well, in fact, no one really beats her. So, if Chris manages to retain that title at WrestleDream, that is going to be a hell of a statement and a hell of a lot of
Mhm.
trust that they're showing for Chris Statlander. So, let's see what happens there. What do we have next on Dynamite?
But we had Gates of Agony, and then we had versus the Hurt Syndicate. So
Yeah,
that was a really action-packed match. I did enjoy it overall. Bobby and Shelton are beasts. They're up there in age. They still look like they're in their 30s, honestly. And they're just like going all. Ricochet, he was wearing an Eagle shirt. So, this week I can't shit on him too much. So I can't. I really can't. But I've been enjoying what Ricochet has been doing. He's building up, get to agony. I really am enjoying what he's been bringing to AEW. Like during the match, it was, I think it's Bobby had a double clothesline outside the ring. Like these dudes are just doing crazy shit. I'm like, Bobby, like you're getting up there. Like why are we doing these action packed moves? And then Ricochet, he comes into the match, sneakily. Ref back is turned, and he hit Shelton with the kick, and Gates of Agony still win. And this is what this first team that actually beat the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
Because when they lost the belts, they weren't out there. So
That's
this
right.
is the first team to beat them. So I mean, we'll see how WrestleDream goes. I'm very excited for their match. I mean, MVP being involved in it, and since it's a trios match, will be very interesting.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really sort of bothered about this match. And then when they announced we were doing this on Dynamite, I'm like, well, hold on a minute, we just had this on the last pay-per-view. We're having it again on the WrestleDream coming out this weekend. Now we're having basically the match again minus Ricochet and MVP. But what a real sort of outing really for GOA. I was really, really impressed. Really hard hitting match, really showcased the power of both teams. I really sort of enjoyed this, and it made GOA look like a threat, didn't it? They really
Yep.
dominated this match. They really dominated the Hurt business and really made themselves look really strong. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This should be fun. MVP threw the cane into the ring at one point, and I was a bit like, "Oh, what's going on here? Are we going to see some potential sort of heel turn?"
Right.
And then sort of, when you see sort of somebody from outside throw something in the ring sort of aimlessly, you always think the kind of worst, don't you? But no. Then after the match, MVP actually then smashed that cane in half over. I can't remember which member of Gates of Agony it was, but one of them. So yeah, it should be fun. Speaking of Syndicate, you heard a little rumor, I hear, about a potential
Yes.
contract expiring. Is that right?
Yeah, so I was, on Twitter, on YouTube, and I've been hearing that Mr. Cedric Alexander, his TNA contract, he didn't have a long contract, but I'm hearing that it's set to expire soon. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if he's going to ultimately resign, but in the WWE, they had the Hurt Business, and he was a part of them. So he could come and complete the Hurt Syndicate at WrestleDream if that is an option for him, if his contract is absolutely done at this rate. But he did appear on NXT TV a few weeks ago with the NXT Invasion Homecoming thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is some speculation that he could be one of the ones set to arrive. His wife used to work for AEW Big Swole, but I know that relationship ended on harsh terms. But no door can be left unclosed, especially since he does have that history with the MVP Shelton. uh, I don't think he would throw away like a career opportunity if it would present it to him, as long as they can come on good terms and things of that nature. So that's a
Yeah,
potential arrival.
maybe we will see. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't really see WWE doing much with Cedric. If they did sort of bring him back,
Right.
they never really utilized him very much, did they? And they had him for a long time. So yeah, that might be interesting. We'll see what happens. I may give MVP a bit of time off out of the ring as well.
Right, exactly. That
Yeah, yeah,
was my logic when I thought about it. I'm like, this could work because MVP can't move as well. And
yeah.
Cedric is like the high flyer of like the actual unit, and that's what Ricochet is. So him and Ricochet could have amazing matches, in my opinion. That was as soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's why. I'm like, yeah, I gotta bring this up. Everything's
Sounds
for the
fun.
better.
Sounds fun. Let's see what happens. So next we had a little bit of a flashback to New York Comic Con, where Darby Allin attacked Moxley, who was obviously appearing on some sort of stage or something, doing some talk or something. Attacked him at New York Comic Con. So he gave us a clip back of there, and then we had a sort of cinematic face to face between Moxley and Darby Allin ahead of their I Quit match at WrestleDream. So they had it in this strange little room. There was like a bit of glass sort of separate. It looked like a bit of a sort of
a visitation room. It looked like,
visitation room. Yeah, that kind of thing. So that was quite fun. Moxley brought up some good points. He said, we're at a no-win situation here. I know you're not gonna quit. I'm not gonna say I quit. So how are we gonna get out of this? And it raises a good point. No way is Darby Allin gonna say I quit. I think we know that. Moxley, I think potentially he could say I quit, but he hasn't got a lot of history of it. I think there's only been one I quit match in AEW, and that was Moxley and Eddie Kingston a couple of years ago, back at Full Gear for the title, and Mox won that one. But yeah, this is going to end probably with somebody completely unconscious, right? So they had their little sort of face-to-face between the glass break. There's going to be no violence, but then, of course, thought Darby would have had his eyes out for this and should have expected this, but then appears Pac behind him and brutally attacked Darby Allin in his visitation room, blood spraying everywhere, a little bit OTT, but that was, I thought it was good fun. It was a good
I love that bit. It kind of just brings it to a head with their feud at the moment.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the proper way to do it. That was probably one of their best promos. I feel like AEW has had in a while, like their pre-recorded or like their recorded segments. So I really did enjoy that a lot. It's going to be a bloodbath. I know that for a fact. I just don't know.
Absolutely. I think Darby's already bled about 4 times before the match, hasn't he?
Yep. Yeah. And then the focal point seems to be Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's been a focal point of this, and I'm like, oh.
He has.
He's ironically on commentary, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this ends.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear Darby sort of say, I believe in the Death Riders, I believe in the idea of what you're doing. I want to get on board, but you're the problem. It's Moxley's actions and what they did to Danielson, the betrayal that sort of stopped him from sort of joining the Death Riders potentially. So that kind of added an interesting sort of element to it as well. But yeah, this is, one of the really strong long-term stories that AEW have had recently. The strongest, actually, and
yes.
I think we see this coming to a head. I think this is the last dance for these two, right? They're going to move on to other things after this, surely.
Yeah, I would hope so, because this has been going on for a minute. If we do, I don't even know where else we're going to be taking it from this point.
No.
But I hope this is the end of it. But I know after this segment, it leads us into one of the members of the Death Riders, so Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong. I wrote down in my notes, grab super technical. That's what it really was. It was a really good match. I really did enjoy it, and this was Claudio's 100th win, right?
Yeah.
In AEW, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw the graphic when he came out, saying 99 wins, and I thought, oh, okay, here we go. And it was nice to see a Death Riders match without them cheating to win. In fact, there was no interference here at all. Claudio won clean, so that was good stuff. And 100th win, marking that for him. He's had a lot of matches then, hasn't he? In AEW, that's
I didn't
incredible.
even think it was that many, but I'm like, okay, no, he has been there for what, over 2-3 years at this point. So
longer than that, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's been about 4 years probably.
Yeah.
But I think it's about 150 odd matches or something. So yeah, he's been keeping himself busy. But yeah, solid match. Claudio picks up the win, and then we went to the birthday party for Don Callis. So the Don Callis family was having a birthday pie. They had a little table set out. Not everybody turned up. Don't know why. Don Callis said sort of 25 members of the Don Callis family. There only about sort of 7 or 8 of them there.
We confirmed it's 13. It's 13 members actively.
13 members. So one notable absence was obviously Takeshita, because he came in via a video message, a birthday cameo that he'd done for Don Callis for his birthday. And this was funny. It was very much sort of sucking up to Don, because obviously Takeshi's just won the IWGP Championship. He is the new Japan top title holder. currently, and he was very thankful for Don for all the help and support that he's given him to sort of get it to there. This was because I know about you the whole time. I was just looking at Okada's face when
Yup.
and he picks up that TV remote and then everyone just turns the TV off halfway through it. Everyone turns around, oh, sorry, I must have pressed the wrong button. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
That was great. I feel like this is going to be interesting for them this weekend. You know, they have a tag match. They have to, you know, coexist if they want to bring the titles down. As he said on commentary, he's like, we're going to bring home all the gold. And I'm like, I don't know. We might have some internal conflict here.
Oh, you reckon? Yeah, this is going to make things sort of very interesting this weekend. And this could potentially be the first sort of real sort of rift we've had in the sort of Don Callis family, I think, for a while. Something that's a real sort of split, probably the first sort of major, perhaps, person leaving since Kenny Omega. So be interesting to see sort of what happens there. But I've been loving, you know, a lot of people sort of been complaining about sort of Okada stuff recently. I enjoy it. I think he's enjoying himself. I think he's funny. And this was hilarious. This version of Okada is just
It was
gold.
golden. It was just great. Like, you're looking at him, he plays the TV, you're like, oh, he's matured, he's shown growth. And you know, he gets to the part, he's like, Don, I'm gonna bring the belt home. And he goes, oh, click the wrong button. And it's just golden. It's just like, oh, this is great. Because we can already see what's gonna happen. Like, we can already foresee it. I can even see them having a bit of them in, like, they, you know, schedule them to have a therapist come in and they talk through their problems, just some shit like that. Like, I'm just excited to see how this goes. I'm very excited.
100%. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. What then? We had the Don Callis family out next for a match. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was Hurtacero, Josh Alexander, and Mark Davis. Mark Davis is back. He came back, I think, the following or like the AEW Collision before, and he had to attack who was it, Kenny Omega or somebody? Or no. Ibushi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And he came back and he attacked Shibata, didn't he? Like, with his broken femur, which I thought was a bit strange. But yeah, Mark Davis, of course, the other half of Aussie Open. Great to see that he hasn't been left out in the cold. Obviously, one half of that team is doing very well for themselves at the moment, but glad to see that Mark Davis is back. And they were against Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega.
Yep. So that was, the match was really good. You can see, like, you can see Kenny being gassed throughout the match, but he was still having like good moments. I feel like, hate to say this, I feel like we're getting to a point where a lot of people that I grew up on watching fully, and like when they're active, like, we're hitting the point they're gonna start retiring. But no, Kenny Omega, he can still move, but you can see he's taking his time. There was a point in the match where Omega, he's like not on the ring apron, but Jack Perry, he's trying to tag somebody in, and he's like, "Do I want to get on his apron?" He gets on there nice and gingerly. He tags him in. He goes after Josh Alexander, especially after what happened last week. And then he's pulling out all the stops. He did a moonsault, the knee to the back to Alexander, and then Luchasaurus, man, like, you like, he's great. He's great. Like, he comes in, I think he choke slams someone or something. I'm just like, dang, I love this. I missed him. And it's just like Jack Perry, he sacrificed himself. He took the clothesline for Mark Davis. Like,
he did.
I was thoroughly, wasn't too thrilled about the match when it first was announced, but seeing them in action, I'm like, oh, this was really good. This was really good.
Whoa. Like, I hate, you know, I hate this for Jack Perry. I feel like, you know, he was gonna go and do something else, but we do love that song, don't we?
Listen,
we're gonna get those out.
We adapt, we move, we adapt. I think that's where he's at right now.
Yeah, I'm just glad he hasn't come back looking all ripped and stuff. Like, he's come back like he hasn't like put in any effort. He just looks like Jungle Boy Jack Perry again. Really sort of soft and young and baby face looking again. So yeah, it should be fun. So one thing I did notice, did you see the clone of Don Callis?
Yes, I did. He had a little scar and everything. Yep. It was great.
That guy, that was crazy. That was so confusing because Don Callis comes out and then the camera switched to this lookalike of Don Callis. This guy looked like just like Don Callis's clone, didn't he? And we've obviously got some clones already in the Don Callis family. So maybe there's going to be an entire clone Don Callis family.
I mean, it's possible.
Maybe they're just cloning them all one by one.
I mean, it's very possible. And yeah, it'll be another 25 members that we don't recognize probably. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be going. But at the end of the match, ultimately Jurassic Express Omega wins. It was a solid match overall. But then we had some fighting at the end of this match between the Don Callis family. And then you had the Young Bucks come out.
Yep.
They was, after Jurassic Express. They almost kicked Kenny, and then they stopped. They caught themselves. He's like, "You have a match. Like what is the problem? Like, you have a match. Just wait." And at the end, Luchasaurus clothesline both of them, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good match. I wasn't as excited for that match, but now I am. I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. We'll see.
Yeah, and Kenny sure looked conflicted when the boys came out and started attacking the team. He just sort of tagged with, especially after Jack Perry put himself in the way of taking that big sort of shot from Mark Davis, which was interesting because obviously we know that Kenny had his doubts about Jack Perry, so that was just making sure that everybody knows that he is a good guy now and he can be trusted. But then, of course, the Young Bucks come down. They're against Jurassic Express at WrestleDream, and obviously that adds the confliction for Kenny Omega because obviously the Elite. So it'll be interesting to see if anything sort of happens sort of further on from there with Bucks and Kenny as well. But yeah, you're right about Kenny. He was looking quite old in that ring. I felt a bit sad, I have to say. It was the first time I thought, yeah, he's definitely never going to WWE, is he? Like,
yeah, no, not right now. Like, I think he'll probably just retire and like produce or something. But no, I love Kenny. I just know he's getting older.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we had Sky Blue against Jamie Hayter. And obviously, we've got Jamie Hayter against another member of the Triangle of Madness at WrestleDream, Thekla. But part of this as well is the build up to sort of Blood and Guts, because there's been a Blood and Guts challenge sort of put out there. Pretty good match. Jamie Hayter gets the win, as we think we probably could have expected there, with the Haterade over Sky Blue. And then we get Thekla on the television doing a little promo before their match at WrestleDream, saying that no one can sort of beat her. Obviously, this is building up to another sort of multi-woman match at Blood and Guts. That looks like they're going to be doing it around here. I think they need to sort of build up a little bit more. We're going to need a good match tomorrow to really pique the interest, I think, around these ladies for that Blood and Guts match, because at the moment it doesn't seem like there's enough in there to stick them in a cage. So hopefully this is going to sort of set fire a bit more this on WrestleDream. Like this feud, should I say?
I feel like they need some shenanigans or something tomorrow. Jamie Hayter gets fed up and she's like, "Fuck it, we're doing it. You don't have a choice. It's been approved already. We're gonna be in that cage." That type of thing. During the match, I actually got This Is Awesome chance, and it was indeed awesome. I did enjoy that match thoroughly. It was one of the only women's matches on Dynamite.
Yeah, it was. We did see our champion, though, Mercedes Moné, briefly bragging about her 10th title win. Another belt for her collection there. This one from Denmark. And she was very proud to say that on Saturday, I think it will be, she will become the longest reigning TBS champion of all time. Is that right?
Today, actually. Today.
Is it today?
At 5. Yep, today is 509 days. Tomorrow she'll be even longer champion.
There we go.
But I think she will be at WrestleDream. I believe she said that because she has a match tonight for the CMLL championship against Persephone. But I think she said she will be at WrestleDream, but she doesn't have a match yet. So she'll be out there in some capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got then next the trios titles. Is that right?
Yes, it was LFI versus the Ops. It was a pretty solid match. I kind of knew who was going to win coming into this. Unless they were trying to throw us a swerve, I didn't see LFI winning, but the Ops did take the win. There was also a beatdown at the end of that match.
Yeah.
And Hangman comes and helps. He gets in the ring because Hangman was on commentary. But the Ops win. It was like a little face off between Hangman and Samoa Joe. But excited for that match. I wish there was a little bit more story behind it. I
Yeah.
know the story with them is like, oh, Samoa Joe helped, at All In, make ensuring that, the Death Riders wasn't out there. And I get that part. And I get like, obviously he's goaded, but I needed more to be invested on. I feel like that's where I'm at with it. Like I need
Yeah.
more, especially with it being Hangman. If this is your men's champion, let's have this keep going.
Yeah, I think they tried to sort of make Samoa Joe out to be the bad guy in the last sort of couple of weeks. Let's be honest, people aren't going to boo Samoa Joe.
No, no.
So, and I feel that tonight they kind of sort of U-turned on that kind of idea. They're happy just having a great match between Joe and Adam Page. And, at the end of the day, once Joe is out of this match, presuming he doesn't win, he's going to go back to what he's been doing, hasn't he? Been a babyface, and it was good to see those trios titles actually getting defended. I know it was all just
Yes.
to really sort of build up a bit about the big title match at WrestleDream, but it was all good. But yeah, post match we had LFI sort of spitting on Adam Page, wasn't it?
It was
And
Roosh. Roosh spat on him.
Roosh,
Yep.
yeah, spat on him, and then Hangman sort of went in to sort of attack him, and then it was all a bit weird. But yeah, should be fun. But that was Dynamite. Then we had sort of Collision straight afterwards. It was really a 3-hour
Right.
sort of Dynamite. Wasn't a lot sort of noteworthy really there, was there?
Not
But
really. I mean, you had Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly versus Yuta and Daniel Garcia. I like the match. It was okay. I feel like what they're really doing right now is building up Daniel Garcia in the Death Riders. So, they took the win ultimately, and then again, there was another beatdown after Tony Khan. If you're listening, right? Let's limit ourselves to beatdowns after these matches. That's it was literally in my notes. And we limit ourselves, please? But after that match, there was another beatdown. Strong comes out. Ishii comes out. They're still outnumbered. They're trying to help. Darby comes out. He's literally dragging himself. He's getting beat up by every Death Rider member in God's name,
yeah,
and he's just still showing heart. Okay, he pulls out the AEW flag, gets in the ring with Moxley, and is like, "This is what it means to him," and then he gets laid out.
that's
So,
right. Yeah, he pulls out that flag that he mounted on Mount Everest, his Mount Everest
mhm,
flag, wasn't it? And Moxley promptly delivered him a Death Rider on the flag. But
yep,
yeah, Darby coming out. I love the fact he was bleeding before he even got shown on the screen through the huge big plaster that was already on his head, which was clearly covering up another wound that had been bleeding
yep.
from earlier. So that was good. Next we had Megan Bain versus Holly Cameron. Pretty sort of okay-ish
Okay, it was
match.
okay.
Yeah.
Before the match, we got a promo out of Megan Bain, which I feel like I haven't really seen her like speak on the mic a lot. So it was actually nice to see. FTR was out there as well, so it was a lot of heat she was taking from that point too. It was an okay match. I mean, not really sold on it. I think this is leading to that blood and guts match, in all honesty. In some way, shape, or form. I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, so how are we gonna get these women together, the good guys versus the bad? The I just don't know how we're gonna have them join forces ultimately for this, but I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here. And we'll get into this later, but I had beef with Tony Khan because why the fuck is Willow still on 0 hour? But we will get to that in a few moments.
Yeah, Megan Bain, she really does look like somebody that could lead a women's division, a
Hmm.
real contender. Like you said, she hasn't really said much of recent. she could probably do with a little bit more practice. So I'm
Yeah.
glad they're giving that to
Yeah.
her. But yeah, it was good to hear her speak, and it was good to see Harley Cameron on having a wrestling match as well on TV. Good to see her back. And then to end Collision, Don Callis
Oh,
family.
once again, it was a trios match, right? Yeah.
Another trios. We
Mhm.
said third trios match of the evening, yeah. Versus
At
Mark
this rate.
Briscoe, Bandito, and Brody King, our sort of tag champions.
hmm And yeah, it was the tag champions, and then it was who was it from Don Callis? Because I watched it while I was at work today. LOL.
It was Fletcher,
Wait, Lance Archer. Wait, no, right? Yeah, it was Lance Fletcher,
Archer, and
Rocky,
Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero. There
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go.
yeah,
There we
yeah,
go. I don't know how this. Like, I was only excited for the end of the match because we know what happens at the end of the match. So Brody, though, Mark Briscoe take the win, but at the end of the match, the evil clone comes out, and then Okada hits, I think, Bandito over the head with the belt. Brody gets hit too. So I'm
yeah,
like, I'm very excited for this tag match. It's WrestleDream. Again, I feel like they could have had this match on Dynamite. Oh, they didn't need to do 3 hours. They could have just had it be like a special where it was just 2 hours or 2.5. But yeah.
yeah. They could have done without a Collision this week. To be honest, I don't think
hmm
we needed it. Just give us 2 hours of Dynamite. That would have been absolutely fine. They didn't need to add this hour on. Obviously, they added it on because they've got WrestleDream on Saturday. But
Right.
they could have just given an hour wrestling to the fans in the audience or something.
hmm
We definitely didn't need another hour of AEW, but we got it anyway. So there you go. Right, that brings us on then to our predictions for
Dun, da, da, da.
WrestleDream. So for the second pay-per-view in a row, we're having a tailgate brawl,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
and I think we got
So
3 matches planned for that.
yeah, so it's FTR
Mhm.
versus Jet Speed. Then we have Eddie Kingston and Hook versus to be announced because we don't have that announcement yet. They made like a brief announcement on Collision, I believe. Like, yo, we're gonna be there. Somebody pull up. Essentially, that's exactly what they said. And then it'll be Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale versus Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. But going into 0 hour, who do you think is going to win out of FTR versus Jet Speed?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that FTR, you're not going to have them lose on a 0 hour, are you? I mean, they've taken a few L's recently. Sorry, Jet Speed. I'm going with FTR for
I'm
this
going.
one.
Yeah, same here. I'm going with FTR too.
Yeah, and they are bulking up their little posse at the moment with
hmm
Meg Bain now part of the crew by the looks of things officially. Don't think that'll necessarily have anything to do with the match because they are having another match sort of after also on this 0 hour, this tailgate brawl. But
Right.
Eddie Kingston and Hook, can't really make a prediction on that because I don't know who they're going to be facing. Eddie King, this is a strange combination, isn't it? What do you think of these
I
guys?
feel like actually it's not as strange as I thought it was going to be. I think they vibe off each other. It's like a brotherly type of tag team. I know they said that they want to focus on the tag team championships, just like how FTR wants to go back to focusing on the tag team championships. So I think this is going to play a good part. This will take us into the end of the year, into the new year for the men's tag team division anyway. So I feel like both of those matches, FTR, Jet Speed, Eddie Kingston, and Hook, and whoever they face, it'll definitely help. I think Hook and Eddie do win, but we just don't know who it's going to be yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting to see if they just pull any old tag team from out the back, or we get some kind of
Right.
surprise or return or something like that. We'll see. Then we've got Holly Cameron and Willow Nightingale teaming up against Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, Divine Vanity. You mentioned you had some thoughts on Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
Everybody's friend, Willow Nightingale. Does anybody not like Willow Nightingale backstage? She is
Well,
pally with everyone, isn't she?
yeah, like I feel like she's just very likable. She's over with the crowd. This is what the third pay-per-view in a row, third or fourth, where she's been on 0 hour. Like, and I know it's because we had the TBS championship, and I know we have the AEW women's champion, which she hasn't had a match for in a while for either of those. So like, I know we're trying to pull her in a different direction. Is it going to be the women's tag team belt? Like, is that what it is? Because I'm like, I really need her to get the recognition she rightfully deserves, because she should be on their main card. In all honesty, I know it could be her and Chris going through any, feuds, because they had one last year. But I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is she on 0 Hour?
Yeah. So, I mean, I do think that this Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, I don't think they're going to win, but I do think this is going to be a tag team that will carry on for a while. We know that Harley
Mhm.
Cameron looking for a tag partner and getting declined left, right, and center by everyone that she's been stalking. But we all know that Willow will not say no, will she? She's not going to say no to anybody. She just wants everybody to be happy. So yeah, I do think they'll take the loss here, but I think we'll see this partnership continue into the tag title, women's tag title tournament. That's
Believe
my
so as well.
prediction there. Let's get on to the main card. So we got Roderick Strong and the conglomeration, so Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac. How do you see this one go, Mirror?
Death Riders. Death Riders. For sure. And we'll get into the later. I feel like it just makes sense, especially if Darby does take the win later in the night.
Yeah, got to even
You,
it
you
out, right?
yeah. Like, you have to even it out. And I
Plus,
feel
if
like
you've
they
got
want to
four
build
of
them.
them, if you've got
Mm.
four of them in the match already, and one
Yep.
of them's not going to be around because they're against Darby Allin later, it's going to be hard to have somebody come in for outside interference
Right.
to get involved as well, isn't it? So yeah,
Right.
they're all there already. So, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, Death Riders for this one. Don't know what order they're going to be in, but let's go to the singles match for the AEW TNT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
The
Kyle
Protostar,
Fletcher. Yeah.
Kyle
Kyle
Fletcher,
Fletcher.
champion against Mark Briscoe, who won the number one contendership match to be in this match. I've been betting it against Briscoe constantly on my predictions for the last few pay-per-views and have got it wrong every single time. Are you going to bet against Mark Briscoe?
Looking at it, and I just don't see him taking it off Kyle. Just don't see it. It could happen. It could happen. I just don't see it. So I'm going with Kyle.
I didn't see Briscoe beating MJF either, or being the number one contender, or anything else, any other single match that he's been in winning. But yeah, no, I think you're right. Kyle Fletcher's given us stuff for a while. So
You mentioned MJF too. MJF is still like, he's very vengeful. So I mean, he can ruin it. He can ruin the match too. Like, we can think about
he
that
could.
part.
He absolutely could. Yeah, no, absolutely. Then we've got our tag titles.
Mhm.
Brodido. This is going to be one of the most interesting matches of the night. Bandito and Brody King versus the Don Callis family of Okada and the new IWGP champion. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. You know, I think there's more story between the Don Callis family members that are fighting in this than there is actually in the actual match itself. The real story is
Yep.
going to be what happens between Okada and Takeshita, and can they work together? Can they live as one? Can they remain in the Don Callis family together, or are these two big, huge Japanese superstars destined to go their different paths after this? What do you think?
Gonna be interesting to see how they work together. It's gonna be butting heads, because it's like your older brother and you're looking up to him, and like your little brother, he's doing more than you, than what you did or what you were doing, type of thing. So it could be like that envious thing that plays into it. Only I think they ain't gonna be able to coexist. It's gonna be a problem, and Rodeo is gonna retain. That's what I'm thinking. But again, they could see eye to eye. Right now, I don't see it. I don't
Well,
see it.
I definitely don't think they're going to see eye to eye. It's either they're gonna put the straps on them while they're feuding, because they're gonna play the old, this tag team hates each other, but they're the champions. So
Yep.
they'll just carry it on through, or they'll do it just to cause them the match, to cost them the match, which is what I think is
Yep.
happening. I think Brodito are retaining here as well. And I do feel that this is really going to be interesting to see what happens with Okada and Takeshita. I think something's going to happen, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think this ends with one of them leaving the Don Callis family. I don't know if it happens at WrestleDream, but we'll see. I'm not sure which one it will be, but I have a feeling it might be Okada. So we will see, and I hope so as well, actually, because it doesn't need to be in any family. We got
He
to
can stand on his own.
Yeah. We've got a women's singles match that isn't for a title on a pay-per-view. Tony Khan, what are you thinking? This is fantastic. Well done. Great work.
Yes, exactly. I'm very happy about this match. I feel like this is going to lead us to Blood and Guts. This could lead us to a new contender. We just don't know, but I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. Jamie Hayter versus Tekla. This is going to be, two of the hottest sort of talents in the women's division. Going to be a great match, and great to see a match on a pay-per-view that isn't for a title. I can't remember a women's singles match on a pay-per-view that wasn't for a title. Can you? I'm sure
No,
I might well, but
there
I
had
can't
to have been like
remember.
one, but I
Yeah,
feel like typically it is for a belt or some type of stimulation. So yeah,
yeah. So yeah, it should be good. Any ideas on who's going to win this?
I want to say the heel wins. Tekla wins. I think she, yeah, I think she wins.
Okay, I'm going to go with my English counterpart, Jamie Hayter. Come on, England. Yeah, let's see Jamie win. Yeah, I don't know. This could go sort of either way, and it could also end in a contest, which I think are sort of likely. And as you say, leading up to sort of Blood and Guts. I'm not sure either of these could really need to take a loss at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Next up, Hurt Syndicate, Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP versus The Demand, Ricochet, and Gates of Agony. We've got Bishop Khan and Tito Leona in a Tornado Trios match for the second pay-per-view in a row. What are your thoughts?
I know, what was it? The Demand picked it up at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Her Syndicate got it back during the homecoming show.
The three. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, forgetting. Yeah, they've done that and that one. Yeah.
So this is, the third match.
Well, they had last night as well, of course, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. They had on Dynamite not last night, but night before. So is it 2-1 to Gates of Agony and Demand? Would you say?
Yeah. I think it is 2-1. I think it is 2-1 in a match. I think the Hurt Syndicate takes it on the pay-per-view. I think they take it. I just don't know where this is going to lead us. I think the goal for either team is getting to the trios title. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want the Demand to win this. I was really impressed with Gates Agony the other night. I'm really sold on them now. Toliana is an absolute beast. I hope they do win, but I do feel that the Hurt Syndicate are gonna take the win here just simply because they lost on Dynamite. I think that's gonna be it. I think Hurt Syndicate. Yeah, I'll go with that. Right. On to the main business. We got the big women's title, women's world championship match. Chris Statlander versus Timeless Tony Storm. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Chris Statlander. She's retaining. I don't see it going any other way. Also, remember, Miss Mercedes Moné says she will be at WrestleDream. And she got TSD from Tony Storm, so maybe she'll do some tomfoolery, but I think Chris wins cleanly. I don't think it will be anything, but I'm very excited to see this match. This is one of the 3 matches I'm very excited for.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an incredible match. I think these two have clearly got good chemistry. The short sort of amount of time they've had to sort of build this has been really, really good stuff. This is going to be an awesome match. And you're absolutely right. Chris Statlander is taking this. This is the match where Chris Statlander really gets to cement herself as a legitimate champion, and a win over Tony Storm is really going to legitimize her reign. Chris Statlander takes it clean. Yep. So we have 2 more matches. Let's start. I don't know which one's going to headline, but let's start with Adam Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship.
Get him Page.
Yeah.
Because they want to build him up. They want to give him like wins, just like similar to Chris. They want to give him the wins to help legitimize him. Obviously, on the mic, he sounds great. Feel like he has a lot of fans behind him. He's getting like a lot of that support. And then there are some fans that don't want him to be champion. But I think this is just building him up, like stepping stones type of thing.
Yeah, I agree. A little bit like when Cody sort of had the title in WWE. They set up certain matches, the AJ Styles and that kind of thing. This is one of those kind of matches for Hangman. It's going to be a great match. You're going to get a great match out of these two because they're both fantastic wrestlers. But Samoa Joe is not the threat that he used to be. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
He is capable of a very good match here, but not capable of holding that championship. So yeah, Hangman Adam Page to retain. Then finally,
we have one more. Jurassic Express versus
I forgot that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
The $500,000 match.
Yes, of course, the money match. So apparently, all you need to do is knock on Tony Khan's door enough times and say you want a money match, because you lost all your money at the casino.
Right.
And if you knock loud enough, Tony Khan will just give you $500,000 and say, right, okay, whoever wins this match gets $500,000. That's how it works, right?
Essentially.
Yeah. Easy as that. Simple. He's got loads of money. What does he care?
Yeah. I got to knock on his door. Oh,
yeah.
For real.
So, yeah, Young Bucks against Jurassic Express. Who you got for this one?
Jurassic Express. I think they're trying to build them up, get their tag team presence shown again. So I think it'll be them. It could well off be the Young Bucks, but I think how Wednesday ended, more than likely it'll be them.
I think the fact that money's on the line, I'm not really sure what Luchasaurus is going to do with $250,000.
Fair enough.
And I don't think Jack Perry needs it. His dad was loaded.
Yeah.
So Young Bucks need the money. They want to walk around with that bag of cash again. We need to sort of go into that story a bit more of them carrying it around and then perhaps people stealing it and then they can lose it all over again. So I'm going to go with the Young Bucks.
Okay. I can see it though. I can see that. Because they're the broke Bucks right now. So, it makes sense.
we need the rich Bucks, don't we? Well, not that rich, is it? But fairly rich Bucks. Right, let's get on to what I think will probably be our main event. And if it's not the main event, it will certainly be the most brutal match of the evening. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. This is going to be painful to watch. This is going to be painful to take part in. Sure, it's going to be brutal. This, I think, is the final crescendo for these two before they move on to whatever's next in both of their careers. Who you got?
We'll go with the underdog on this one, Darby Allin. Somehow, some way, he gonna get Moxley to say I quit.
Yeah, I think this is. They've been building up to this, and Darby needs the win, the big win over Moxley, the one of the most prominent AEW champion that's ever been. This is what he needs to get him up to that next level, to get him in that championship sort of conversation. We know that Moxley beat him last time out. This time, Darby Allin wins. He's going to get Moxley to say, I quit. I have no idea how he's going to do that, but it is going to be gross.
And I think the conglomeration will come out to deter, the other Death Rider members out of the match. So it'll hopefully remain one-on-one as much as it can. But somehow, some way, this crazy motherfucker is going to get him to say I quit. I just don't know how. And tomorrow I'll be sitting at my TV like, what the fuck are we watching?
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible that neither of them say I quit. That just the one that is dead loses. Or completely passed out, unconscious, is the one that loses the match. Very possible that they go down that route because I'm not sure either of these guys have got the words "I quit" in them, but we will see. I am very excited for this. I'm looking forward to that match, and I'm looking forward to WrestleDream. Mirah, anything else on AEW chat you want to touch on this week? Oh, we didn't mention Andrade.
Yeah. Andrade's going through some things right now. So his WWE contract, TKO contract, since he was fired, it wasn't like his contract expired or he was released. So he won't be appearing anywhere for the next, and I believe it is a year. It is a year. Just seen it. So they have the clause in their contract now that if you're fired for anything, there's a non-compete for a year.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I don't know what made Andrade think that he was able to wrestle. He clearly thought he could just, if he was fired, go and sign. So there's obviously been some miscommunication along the way. The fact that he is not on TV anymore, and the fact that WWE's done a cease and desist to AEW tells me that clearly it is in the contract, because it's not like he's going to pull it out of sort of thin air and say, okay, well, this is, we don't want this, you found a loophole, we're going to close that loophole. It's either in the contract or it's not in the contract, isn't it? Simple as that. What made Andrade think that he was okay to just go and sign for AEW? I've got no idea. Very interesting sort of story there. But this 1 year, obviously the 90 days, is that because there's gonna be a sort of fine? Is this a sort of a stipulation of the contract that if you break that, you can't compete for a year?
Yeah, so it says new TKO contracts have a clause where if you are fired or cause or breach, there's a 1 year non-compete. The older contracts had this, but it's standard now. This is the holdup involving Andrade. But 1 year is absolutely fucking insane.
But they're not paying him, right?
Not to my knowledge. I don't even think they're paying him.
Well, this is the whole point. I can't see this standing up in court. You can't fire someone and tell them they can't go and get another job for a year, especially not for an independent contractor. I can't see this standing up in a courtroom for a year, surely.
Like TKO is just like trying to, I guess, corner their talent, especially if they're not doing what they want them to do. But I feel for the talent, because it's like, well, if you're not giving me the stories, the matches that I need to progress like my character, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? And I think he had a violation for, I think, substance or something like that. I think he he had like a wellness violation, and it could have been other things too. But I'm just like, 1 year is kind of crazy. 90 days, okay, cool, but a year.
Yeah, I don't know how you can fire someone and tell them they're not allowed to go and earn any money doing their craft for 12 months. That is kind of ridiculous. But we will see, and I'm sure there's more to that story. So, as soon as we hear any more on the Andrade situation, we'll be sure to keep you guys informed. I think that's all to say. Oh, don't know if we might have lost Mirah. She may have disappeared. I don't know where Mirah's gone. Looks like she just lost her internet. Just in time. Anyway, we're finishing up. Thank you so much for listening today, everyone. She's back. Hi, Mirah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know where you went now. I just got to say goodbye without you. But yeah, we're really hyped for WrestleDream this weekend. Really looking forward to the show. We hope you guys enjoy it too. And we'll be back next week with our thoughts on the results of WrestleDream, I'm sure. I believe the guys have got some WWE content coming out that they're recording later on this evening. So get following, get subscribed, wherever you listen to your podcast, guys. We've got loads more content coming your way. My name's Daddy Dom. Thank you so much, Mirah. We've been Pinfalls and Passports. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all soon.
See ya.